Hello, everybody. B Marsh Boxing, back at it. Boxing video. We got some news coming out the WBC. So the WBC is recognizing Dillian Whyte's past positive sample as accidental, and they reinstate him and lift his ban and lift him up to the interim heavyweight champion with the WBC, and they make him a mandatory to the winner of Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury in February 22nd. So Dillian Whyte is going to be the mandatory winner of whomever wins the rematch between Tyson Fury and Wilder. There's some good news. It is, yeah, because what the deal, main boxing biker? What going on, man? What's happening? It's good news, yes indeed. I've been wanting to see Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder since Deontay Wilder fought George Washington. You know what I mean? Or Gerald Washington, excuse me. That's when I've been trying to see the fight, you know what I'm saying? Dillian Whyte this last weekend just fought another steroid cheat, a guy who's tested positive for steroids before, just like Dillian Whyte has, Marius Wack. Who knows if both of them were juiced to the gills? Who knows? Who cares? That fight was whack. But at the end of the day, if that's the Dillian Whyte people want to see get in the ring versus Deontay Wilder, so be it. Make it happen. That's what I've been asking for a long time. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte has been cleared by the WBC. A lot of people were crying for him, but they didn't cry anything for Cannoli. They called him a drug cheat. But Dillian Whyte gets a pass. It's all good. It's all well and fine. I ain't going to make too much qualms about it. At the end of the day, Dillian Whyte does deserve his shot at a mandatory position. If Eric Molina and Brazil were in a position to fight for Mandos or in a title eliminator, then Dillian Whyte should just get his just due. You know what I mean? I'd love to see the fight. I don't think, who knows? Who knows when it will happen? Hopefully by 2020. We shall see it by next year. You know what I mean? Really and truly, I'd love to see all the champions with the heavyweight division say forget about the Mandos. Talk to the sanction bodies the way Eddie Hearn used to talk to the sanctioning bodies to keep Kell Brook and Carl Froch from not fighting their mandatories, dangerous mandatories. When Kell Brook had to fight Errol Spence, he prolonged that fight. Errol Spence had to go through 2 title eliminators. He finally got his shot because I guess Kell Brook does have balls, straight up. I'm sure Eddie Hearn didn't want him to take that fight because he had already ruined his career putting him in that Golovkin fight. Props to Kell Brook, you know what I mean? Got the stadium fight. By no means was he washed in that fight versus Errol Spence. It was a very competitive fight till round 10 and 11, and that's all she wrote. And on the other hand, I remember when Eddie Hearn used to try and make concessions and try to keep Adonis Stevenson far away from Carl Froch. Carl Froch had no intention of fighting the guy. Carl Froch even wanted to drop his IBF strap in order not to face his mandatory. Just by the grace of God and by the lucky for Carl Froch, Adonis Stevenson got fed up and he got a better opportunity to move up to light heavyweight, and the rest is history. Him versus Chad Dawson in June 2013. Now, Dillian Whyte, people been saying he's been a Mando since for 600 days. I don't know about that. I do not know about that. I only know he got this WBC interim title, I think when he beat Robert Helenius, okay? And still, he wasn't no mandatory. He was like a number 1 contender. And there's a difference. Yes, there is. There is a difference, you know? So I'm not buying that 600-day stuff. But I am buying that the man does deserve a title shot. He had opportunities to fight Anthony Joshua. He turned it down. But the Anthony Joshua, the Dillian Whyte fans, they don't really like him. They only root for the guy because he be trying to bang on Wilder. Yeah, just put a conversation between Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua and talk about how Dillian Whyte turned down that money, and see how these Anthony Joshua fans cringe their face and then they show you their real disdain for the man Dillian Whyte. They don't really love that guy. They only love him because he banging on Wilder, which is all well and fine. When he gets sparked out, and you know me, B Marsh Boxer, I ain't never one to predict the future unless it's a boxing prediction video. But when I'm certain of something, I let it be known. When the man gets sparked out and gets stolen, gets snuffed on, and just gets destroyed in the ring by Deontay Wilder, we'll see how much love and how much fan support the man Dillian Whyte has. Because believe you me, I know these people don't really like this guy. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? They know what we know. You know, that Joseph Parker fight, which is the best name on his resume. Yeah, that fight, man, that fight had too many referee interferences, a lot of dirty play. That stuff wouldn't go on anywhere on the planet Earth besides London. You know what I mean? I didn't like how that fight was officiated. I didn't like how the referee counted a knockdown as a headbutt. That fight was just wrong. And at the end of the day, we seen Dillian White, what happened in the 12th round. Okay, he won the fight. Props to him. I give him credit for the fight, but the way he fought that fight and the way he was given a lot of opportunities to be a dirty fighter. A knockdown was counted by by a headbutt, and they just counted it as a knockdown. I ain't like that stuff, you know what I mean? And then the fights that he had with Chisora, which is the second best name on his resume as far as guys he beat. The first fight I had it a draw. The second fight, I had Chisora up by 1 or 2 points before he got sparked out, you know what I'm saying? So Dillian White was struggling versus this guy Chisora, okay? Then he fought the Van Rivas. While he had PEDs in his system, he does get dropped, I believe, in the ninth round. Close fight. In my prediction, I had predicted a close victory for the man Oscar Rivas, but I don't even know why I predicted that. I forgot. The fight's in London, man. There ain't no way that guy gonna get a decision. Even if he knocks out the man Dillian White, they gonna give him a draw. At the end of the day, Oscar Rivas wasn't treated fairly as far as fighting a guy who's has PEDs in his system, and also fighting a guy who's changing up the gloves last minute. Who knows if his gloves were loaded? Those were not the gloves that were inspected when they were supposed to fight, and that's just the truth of the matter. So Dillian White is just asking for it, man. He's just asking to be cremated, and I can't wait. I cannot wait, ladies and gents. I cannot wait for him to get bodied in there, you know? It's about that time, you know what I'm saying? But when that fight will happen, I don't know. But have you noticed how Eddie Hearn always loves to sign the guys who somehow, some way have brought some kind of disruption to his matchroom entity? You know what I'm saying? Or or basically have some qualms, have a problem with matchroom. Look at Oscar Rivas. Oscar Rivas fought the guy with PEDs in his system and wasn't even informed. And the man Dillian White changed gloves when he fought the man Oscar Rivas. What happens next? Before a lawsuit could occur, Matchroom signs the man. What kind of deal? I'm not too sure. I don't know how long, but I do believe from some articles I read, Oscar Rivas will be fighting on some Matchroom cards. Yeah. Look at the other guy. Who's the other guy I'm thinking of? Joey DeWeco. Apparently he knocks out Anthony Joshua, allegedly in sparring, gives him a concussion a week before. Yeah, he was given a gag order not to talk about that stuff, which is all well and fine. What stays in the sparring stays in sparring, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he did get signed to Matchroom. What kind of deal? I'm not too sure, but he will be. He has been involved on a Matchroom card. There's some other heavyweight too. I'm trying to think of another heavyweight that brought some kind of disruption to Matchroom, and then they picked him up. They signed him real quick. It's not ringing a bell right now, but main boxing biker, what the deal, man? He says chilling at work, just dropping through the support. Salute my guy, big up on himself, you know. Appreciate that. Neutral Natural, what the deal, fam? He's in the joint watching. He says if Wilder get by Fury, which I believe he will, he should face Lillian Black in June. Yeah, especially if a guy like what's his name, Anthony Joshua, is gonna be he's gonna be he has two mandatories to fulfill. Last I remember, mandatories I'm sorry, undisputed and unifications trump Mandos, but Anthony Joshua has made a career out of just fighting against mandatories. He's trying to follow the Vladimir Klitschko blueprint. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna meet the right one, just like Vlad did when he met Tyson Fury in November of 2015. He gonna meet the right one, just like Anthony Joshua met um, Andy Ruiz on June 1st of 2019. Sooner than later, you'll meet the right one. The reason I have more faith in guys like Wilder as far as with against Fury, it's because the immediate rematch didn't happen. I had the first fight a draw. I wasn't impressed with how Wilder fought, but at least the two knockdowns made it even on my scorecard. I truly, absolutely believe that the man Deontay Wilder can improve and can fight better in the rematch, especially when you're seeing a guy for the second time. Can Tyson Fury improve? Sure, he can too. But I haven't seen much improvement from Tyson Fury since he came back fighting the Sefer Safaris, Pianettas, and Otto Wallins and the Tom Schwartz. Now, those are guys maybe Tyson Fury didn't get up for. He didn't have motivation to fight him, and he'll have motivation to fight the man Deontay Wilder. He'll rise to the occasion. I don't doubt that one bit. But at the end of the day, I just question. I questioned the guy's chin, really and truly, and that's probably why he's been avoiding this fight, the rematch. You know what I mean? And will it happen February 22nd? I highly doubt it, man. I highly doubt it. But if it does, I'll be happy it does. Been wanting to see the rematch. But I remember the McDermotts of the world putting this guy, Tyson Fury, on the canvas. You know what I mean? The Steve Cunninghams, cruiserweight Steve Cunningham. And, I'm not saying when you get dropped or knocked down by Tyson Fury, by Deontay Wilder, that you ain't got a chin. But I think he is questioning his chin. Now, he's a mammoth of a man, 6'9". It's going to be a task for Wilder to drop that big mammoth of a man, you know what I'm saying? But I think if he does connect, if he catches him, he's going to go down. Look at the first knockdown in round of, you know, uh, nothing crucial, nothing of severe consequences. But the man Tyson Fury did go down, and I do believe Wilder has the best chin out of Fury and AJ. I mean, that's just a fact. I seen Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, and the most the hardest punches were landed by Andy Ruiz. Few and far in between, yes, but when he did connect, you could see the legs, you could see the panic, you could see the reaction of Anthony Joshua from the few times that he did get caught. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of time. Hopefully, we can get these fights. But one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm glad Dillian Whyte is back to being reinstated because Slim is just asking for his funeral, and I cannot wait. I can't wait. All right, where we at in the chat? Okay, main boxer biker says Matchroom seems to want to sign the tough comp so they stars won't have to fight them. True indeed. Maybe Fury put his last bit of drive into Wilder first fight. Yeah, he did, and I'm hoping that he has a little bit more left in the tank. You know what I mean? His actions are not showing that he does. As far as the wrestling and wanting, he's trying to get that back, however which way he can. But Tyson Fury is a skilled heavyweight. I just don't know if he believes in himself the way he tries to portray to the world that he does. I mean, how can a man who probably needs to see a shrink has gone through, coke binging, food binging, alcohol and the likes, all these type of things. I don't think, and especially as a heavyweight champion of the world, when he beat Vlad, he had the world at his feet. I don't know if a man like that definitely has confidence in himself. Like if you had to put a meter and a scale on Wilder's confidence, Fury's confidence, and AJ, Wilder blows him out the water. And that's all you could ask from a fighter, you know what I mean? Being confident in yourself, believing in yourself, and knowing your capabilities and abilities and what you can do in there. You know what I mean? You focus on your strengths. You check it. And Tyson Fury, he's definitely a fragile dude. That's a fact. You know what I mean? He's a fragile guy inside. Might portray like he's got a motor mouth, like he be talking that ish. But Slim is definitely not as confident as he portrays, in my opinion. You know what I mean? You check it. He contemplated when he was on the canvas for the round 12. You know what I mean? He was there. He was there with his eyes. Was his eyes open or closed? His eyes was open, just looking up into stars. He did get up and he did come back to give that man Deontay Wilder some nice punches. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that was the most disappointing Wilder fight I seen. But I think he can improve, and he knows that. All he was trying to do is go for the KO. Patience, my guy. Patience is a virtue. So we shall see. Damn, I'm trying to think of the third heavyweight that Matchroom scooped up, man. That had brought adversity today to the Matchroom boxing. Oscar Rivas, Joey DeWeco. There's somebody else. There's a third guy. It's not it's escaping my mind right now. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we shall see. Dillian Whyte been reinstated back by the WBC. Let me know what y'all think about this news. Big up the main boxing biker, Neutral Natural. Are you guys happy to see this guy back in position? I definitely am. Because I think that's a pleasing, aesthetically good fight to watch and to make. The freaking build up for Wilder versus Fury. I'm sorry, Wilder versus Dillian Whyte will be epic. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like and I can guarantee you that man Dillian Whyte after he gets sparked out, he gonna be like Dominic Brazil. He gonna disappear off the face of the planet for 5 to 6 months. Okay, he gonna be in a deep depression, and he not gonna show his face, neither give a post fight interview like Dominic Brazil. You see, Dominic Brazil. That's why I made that video the day after or the Monday after the fight, calling the man Dominic Brazil is a waste man. You can't talk all that shit, talking all that stuff like you was gonna do this, that, and calling Wilder the worst champion. Just talking a lot of stuff like you haven't even accomplished anything in boxing. Only thing you've accomplished is busting up Anthony Joshua nose by round two and had him leaking. Now, if these guys, Povetkin, like, come on, guys. You guys just got to put things in perspective, man. Look at the likes of guys who are putting paws on Anthony Joshua. And you don't think the best heavyweight on the planet, Deontay Wilder, will do that? And the reason I say best heavyweight, because, look, man, AJ might have the belts. He might have unified twice. One was against Vladimir Klitschko, who was 41 years old and had been out the ring for 2 years and had come off a loss, okay? That title should not have been vacant, like fighting for no vacant title. Vlad, as a man, should have said, that's what we're not going to do. Luis Ortiz, the win of Anthony Joshua versus Fury, should have fought Luis Ortiz for the vacant WBA strap. That's just what it should have been come down to. That fight didn't need the WBA belt to be placed in there to be made to make money or to make for a great fight, which it was. The belts didn't have to make the fight, you know what I mean? You check it. So a man like Vlad, who was out the ring for that long, Joseph Parker, was a guy who was supposed to be in negotiations with Deontay Wilder. He came ringside, I believe it was in Alabama, to watch Deontay Wilder versus Gerald Washington. He was ringside. They were in talks. Deontay Wilder said they were in talks, but then all of a sudden they stopped hearing from Joseph Parker's team. I'm telling you what I read from the articles, and most of you guys, 99% or 100% of y'all who know anything about boxing, news and current stuff, you get your information from these articles that we read. You know what I'm saying? And Deontay Wilder said that he just stopped hearing from his team, and all of a sudden, Anthony Joshua and Parker was about to be made. Now look, almost every heavyweight out there is going to try to go the Anthony Joshua route. It's your biggest payday. You get, if you get knocked out, it's going to be the highest payday of your career. At this moment, Anthony Joshua is the biggest moneymaker in the heavyweight division, and Deontay Wilder is the second. So stop with all that. Nobody knows Deontay Wilder. I've kept repeating this in Forbes magazine. The number one fighter last year, till this year, was Cannoli with 90 million made. Okay, second last year till this year, before this Ruiz fight, was Anthony Joshua with 50 million made for the year grossed. Third was Deontay Wilder. In the world, out of every boxer, and there are millions of boxers in the world, from the strawweights to the heavyweights, from every single country on planet Earth. Deontay Wilder was third in grossing in boxing as far as making money with 30 million. So we're not going to act like Deontay Wilder is making pennies on the dollar, you know what I mean? Because that's what all these Anthony Joshua fans, they love to talk about rather than trying to make the fight. They talk about money and trying to be fake ass businessmen and accountants and views and nut ass shit like that, man. When you come to B Marsh Boxing, I don't talk about stuff like that, man. I talk about fisticuffs, dogs. Putting punches together, breakdown and predictions, fellas in the ring, man. I can't get involved in that money talk business, especially when Deontay Wilder did accept a flat fee of 15%, while other guys like Joseph Parker are granted 33%. Now, if you don't see who wants to fight or doesn't want to fight, I don't know what to tell you, and I'm not here to change your opinion. All we doing is spitting the facts over here. You heard? You check it. So with Anthony Joshua fighting these guys and Charles Martin, okay, Charles Martin, who got a belt just the way what's his name, Eubank Jr. got a fluke ass belt. You know, I got a lot of thumbs downs on that video that I did about Eubank. I guess guys wanted me to say that Eubank won the fight fair and square and he was punishing Korobov. I can't say that. The fight only went one round and maybe 30 seconds of the second round. And the first round, that man, Chris Eubank, was getting served up by Korobov. What you want me to say, man? The fight didn't go 12 rounds. I could only tell you what happened. I guess these Eubanks, and I'm not going to just say Eubank, that's UK fans, because Eubank ain't really got no American fans. They were in their feelings. I don't know what to say, man, but people too sensitive out here on YouTube, man, with this boxing stuff. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's how Charles Martin got a belt, because the other guy tore his kneecap out, whatever, tore some ligaments. Okay, so that's who Anthony Joshua fought. He has 3 belts. But at the end of the day, the number one question and what is ultimately the determining factor of everything, has Anthony Joshua faced the best heavyweights on the planet? And there are 2 other guys who I consider the best, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and he hasn't fought neither of them. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury at least have fought each other, you know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to. You could hold a belt. You could walk around planet Earth in any division calling yourself a world champion. And I hate that. I really do. I wish there was just 2 belts like back in the day. I think 2 belts is perfect, you know, because there's a million boxers out there. If there's only 1 belt, I mean, look at how long the line would be for the number 1 contenders and mandatories. Guys would have to probably wait 16 years on some on some Archie Moore-ish just to get a world title opportunity. Man, I had to wait 15, 16 years. And that's more than likely what might happen if we have only 1 belt, like when Joe Louis had the 1 heavyweight title of the world, or Marcel Sedan had 1 middleweight title of the world, and Ray Robinson had 1 middleweight title of the world, and Vic Towell had 1 bantamweight champion of the world, you know what I mean? Or, you know, I think it's better if we have 2, okay? Like in the Tommy Hearns versus Ray Leonard days. Yeah, we have 2 champions only. You know what I'm saying? There's no third wheel, you heard? 2 champions, guys rooting for one guy, and another faction rooting for the other guy. One set of fans rooting for Ray Leonard, another set of fans rooting for Tommy Hitman Hearns. I think that's beautiful for boxing. So we only have 2 guys walking around planet Earth calling themselves a champion. And guess what? The world's going to want to see these guys unify. You only need one fight to become undisputed. I think boxing needs to get back to that. You know what I mean? Get rid of the WBO and possibly the IBF. Even though the IBF is it's a good sanctioning body. It is. They strict on their mandos, but they take exemptions. Daryl Peoples takes exemptions. All you gotta do is write the man a letter early and before a certain deadline. Something that Team Cannoli didn't do when allegedly quote unquote Cannoli really wanted to fight Sergey Devrchenko. I don't know. I doubt that. I highly doubt that he wanted to, but he's blaming Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy for not turning in the paperwork in due time so he can get an exemption or a longer period to get to fight his Mando. You know what I mean? So with Anthony Joshua having those three belts and Wilder having the other, at the end of the day, Wilder has fought the better guy in Tyson Fury. He fought the guy who beat Vlad. You know what I mean? AJ came off fighting an old Vlad who had lost, and Vlad almost won that fight. If Vlad's chin could hold up for just 4.5 more minutes, because he got stopped in the 11th. If all he had to do was hold up and win round 11 and 12, or win one of the two, on my card, he would have won the fight. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, that uppercut clipped him, and he ain't fought since. You know what I mean? But that's the truth of the matter. That Deontay Wilder, that Anthony Joshua has not faced. He's faced all the other good heavyweights on the planet, and his resume is better than Fury's and Wilder's, sure. But he hasn't fought the best heavyweights on the planet because the two best are Fury and Wilder, and those two have at least fought each other. Came down to a draw. However you feel about the fight, whether you feel Fury won by a wide margin, I mean, I don't know what to say to you, man. That's then you should want Fury to get the rematch so he can do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? And the Anthony Joshua fans, they love Dillian Whyte when it comes down to him banging on Wilder because he's a buffer in between AJ and Wilder. You know what I mean? He's the antagonist. He's the guy there to be uh, Captain Saberho for Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? You check it. He's the guy who really wants to who's there to protect the man AJ. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm trying to tell you, dogs, when that man gets cremated, whenever they do fight, them fellas, Dillian Whyte, they ain't gonna be talking about him no more. There will be no love. You know what I'm saying? And I know this because all you gotta do is listen to when the Anthony Joshua fans who love Dillian Whyte for banging on AJ on Wilder, but when it gets time to talk about Dillian Whyte versus AJ, they got no love for Dillian Whyte. You know what I'm saying? They talk about how he turned down all that money, this, that, and the third. Oh, they got no love for him, you know what I mean? But they got love for him when he comes down to banging on Wilder. Okay. Brooklyn Child Boxing, what the deal, man? What's happening with you, dogs? I know it's early out there on the left coast, you heard? Early. Top of the morning. Um, Brooklyn Child Boxer says Wilder will put that man White in a body bag. I believe so. I've seen Robert Helenius give that man the stanky leg. I have. I seen Derek Chisora in the first fight give that man the stanky leg, just like Anthony Joshua did. That guy has no legs underneath him. Tyson Parker, that guy can't crack an egg. You know what I'm saying? Look at that Cajonu guy he went the distance with, and look what Luis Ortiz did to that guy. That man, Joseph Parker, can't crack an egg. But he almost stopped that man Dillian Whyte. If that fight, look, if he just had a little bit more time, he would have stopped him. You know what I mean? So imagine what Wilder does to this guy. Just imagine. Brooklyn Child Boxer says after Wilder gets done with Dillian, his brother is going to change his name to Dean Wilder. He should. Brooklyn Child Boxer says, to me, Dillian versus Wack was a draw, SMH. I wouldn't be mad at a draw. I had it like 6 rounds to 4. You know what I'm saying? That's just one round off of a draw. You know, he didn't look very good in that fight, and we can't talk about. You see, You see how the propaganda of this British media is? They said, "Oh, Dillian White is back." Like, where the hell where'd he go? The man just fought in June of 2016. They acted like the man was out the ring as long as Klitschko was before he fought Anthony Joshua, or as long as Tyson Fury was before he came back fought the Sapphire Safaris and the Pianettas. What are they talking about back? Are they trying to make an excuse for how he looked terrible in that fight? How he looked as far as his physique terrible? Is that what they really trying to do? I believe so. We can't be talking about he's back. The man just fought in June. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here, man. But yeah, man, I want to salute to everybody in this chat. Main boxing biker from BK, Brooklyn Child boxing from BK, Neutral Natural, salute. Big ups to all my East Coast heads. We up in this piece. You already know. You know what I'm saying? We know all about all seasons. Winter, fall, summer, snow. You know what I mean? Yeah. All different kind of grinding for all different seasons. You know what I mean? You getting your gorilla grind in the winter so you can live it up for the spring and summer, looking flashy, looking good, doing your thing. You heard? Shout out to everybody in this piece. Dillian White gets placed back. His ban gets lifted by the WBC. Absolutely. I could dig it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm just waiting for the Deontay Wilder detractors to start talking about a PBC belt, which they swore up and down was going to be. They swore Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder was going to be a unification, talking about a unification of PBC and WBC belts. I didn't see that happening, not one bit. I don't know where these guys get their news from, but I don't make such videos. I'm gonna make only such a video when I do actually see in physical with my two eyes a PBC belt. Never seen of it. Never seen that thing in my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So that's propaganda because that's what we do. That's what people do out here on these YouTube streets. It's come down to where you can make up lies and people gonna make videos about it and keep talking about it. Some people's channels I respect, they kept running with Wilder sold 2,500 views. I'm sorry, pay-per-view buys. That's impossible, man. Who in their right mind would even, which global entity from Fox would even consider putting on a pay-per-view if they're only going to sell 2,500? You got to tell me when in life has a pay-per-view, anybody in life. Even the worst pay-per-views you might have seen, Roy Jones versus B-Hop, the second fight. You got to tell me when any pay-per-view's done 2,500 views, buys. But that's what it's come down to, you know what I mean? So all I could say is for everybody out there, don't let nobody lie to you. Please do your own research. And if you do have a backbone, you're not going to come on no video. No video, especially if you have a channel. Okay? And destroy your credibility by lying about stuff that's not true. They said Wilder's going to get a franchise belt. How's that the case when he has a mandatory in Tyson Fury and the winner of Dillian White gets to face his has been placed as a mando for the winner of Fury versus Wilder. So the franchise belt, it doesn't exist with black fighters. At least the black fighters I like. You know what I'm saying? Them fellas, Bud Crawford said he not messing with that, and neither did Fury. Javante Davis and AB and Adrian Broner were laughing at that stuff. So that's just the truth. Those are black fighters. You could get mad at me all you want, because lately I've been having some people, some people they actually think that they own you because they subscribe to you. You know what I'm saying? They think you're supposed to speak what they want you to say or what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? You check it, and I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't give a fuck if anybody decides to unsubscribe from me because I'm not saying what they want to hear. Because guess what? What you won't do, somebody else will. You heard? What you won't do, if you want to unsubscribe, believe you me, I'm going to get another subscriber or two or more quicker than you pressed unsubscribe. That's just a fact, you know what I mean? I don't take nothing personal with nobody, but that's one thing. B-Mar's channel, it ain't no divisive stuff, My channel ain't a hate channel, you know what I mean? That's not what I come on these YouTube streets to do. I ain't got a hate channel, and I ain't got a divisive channel. I cover all boxing, from all weight classes, from every single country, from every single network. You know what I'm saying? You check it, and that's just the truth. Some people, you know, they try to they try to shame you for supporting black fighters, and it's only black people who do get that black channels who get that kind of ridicule from subscribers and or other channels. You know what I mean? You know, when the Puerto Rican fighters, you know what I'm saying? Big ups to my man B Neezy. His home his girlfriend is Puerto Rican. Anytime there's a Puerto Rican fighting, guess what? She's supporting him, and she has to, and there's no problem in that. So if I, as a man, support a black fighter, why should I get ridiculed, or should I be put under pressure, and people coming in my comment section being divisive? That's what we're not gonna do. And I will always tell everybody, look, man, there's plenty of hate channels out there on YouTube boxing. Plenty of hate channels that could tickle your fancy. There's plenty of divisive channels. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of channels out there who ain't got no content. All they do is make content talking about another channel. Got their names and titles and all in their headlines, you know what I mean? That's not what we do over here, man. We gonna talk that boxing ish. Just like my man BK Child be talking about. Let's talk this boxing shit. Big ups to my man. Salute to all y'all out there. Big ups to everybody. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And I'm out of here. Peace.